Good afternoon and good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and CoffeeStream number 370. And it is Wednesday, but we are flying solo today because, to be quite honest, I have not been myself the past couple of days. I have been feeling like garbage mentally. Part of it is the med change. Part of it is lockdown. Part of it is it's winter. And so I've just been a complete mess. If you go back and listen to yesterday's Beat the Blind Girl, I'm barely talking. Um, I'm just not me. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just gonna do a stream by myself today, try and get back into my groove, and just just take it easy. Um, it's really hard to sit and watch your oldest struggle with his own mental health right now because he misses his friends. He's lonely. Lockdown is not doing well for him, and it's not doing well for a lot of people. This is, I keep saying this is going to really affect us long term, way longer than COVID ever will. Um, the effects of being locked down are going to really, really affect us. Um, Hello, welcome, Matt Walker Designs. Hello. Let's see here. Yeah, it's this mentally, it's just really not. Watching my son struggle with this is really, it's also affecting my mental health because I, on top of that, feel like a bad parent because I can't get him out. But I'm not the only one that feels that way because there are lots of parents that feel that way right now, and it's very frustrating to watch your kids struggle and feel alone and feel scared, and it it's hard. It's been hard. So let's take a look at some news here and have some fun. So I have a couple of news stories from Gunfox, and why did I just make a new tab when I can switch windows? So I've got a couple of stories from Gunfox. I've got a story from Costin, and I have a couple of stories from Pinkalo as well. So that we'll have lots of stuff to cover. So let's take a look at the stories that I grabbed. Here's one from Gunfox. So we're gonna click on this one first. I know they are, Gunfox, and I just know in-person learning is what my kid needs. My kid cannot do this online crap. And a lot of it is not accessible. Like, there's so much stuff that's on paper, or, visual stuff that I can't see that he's doing. So, like, if it wasn't for mom helping out in the afternoons, I don't know where we would be right now. I find the best black pills I can find. Hey, Ginger Snap. Okay, so share screen. Okay, so we're gonna look at this one here from the BBC. Okay, Christina Ariel, Star Wars supports High Republic host after racist abuse. Oh my. Okay, this is from 3 days ago. So let's take a look here.
The official Star Wars Twitter account has tweeted in support for Christina Ariel, the host of the upcoming Star Wars, The High Republic show, after she received online harassment.
She did she? Okay.
Tweets by Ariel surfaced of her speaking about the role white people play in upholding racism. She then started receiving racist abuse and accusations of being racist. You are currently on it.
Well, what did she say?
But Star Wars tweeted in support of her, stating, "Our Star Wars community is one of hope and inclusivity." Twitter tweet. Twitter embed and the BBC is not responsible for the content of external sites. Link. View 1. Mizariel 1px transparent. Mizariel was recently announced as the host of The High Republic Show, an upcoming web series about Star Wars, The High Republic, a new subseries of the Star Wars media franchise. She came under attack after social media users resurfaced numerous old tweets, mostly from last year when protests were taking place around the world in support of Black Lives Matter. In some of her past tweets, Ariel references white people while giving opinions on systemic racism. In one, she states, "Just a reminder that white women are just as complicit in upholding and enforcing white supremacy." Twitter tweet. Group. You are currently in Twitter.
What?
And the BBC is not responsible. Link. What? But Matthew Mercer. But many have spoken out in support. The last 24 hours have been not the 1px trend. The last.
Where's the tweet? I want to read the tweet.
Article. Link. 12689. Link. Christina. Link. And I was in such a good mood. White people, you do not get to absolve people of racism. You do not get to point out their growth when they say Black Lives Matter after treating us as if we don't. You don't get to accept apologies on our behalf. That shouldn't need to be said. You.
What?
Link. 12:51. And I was in such a good mood. White people, you do not get to absolve people of racism. You do not get to point out their growth when they say Black Lives Matter after treating us as if we don't. You don't get to accept apologies on our behalf. That shouldn't need to be said.
Okay,
Article.
that's not racist. That's just word salad.
Twitter.
I don't
And,
understand why. Like, honestly, that's just standard tweet from the left. It's and you know what? It goes the same for like it I don't know. It to me that's just word salad at this point. I don't it's just word salad with the words white people at the beginning of it. I don't like those of us those who are calling her racist are kind of just as bad as the left people who call people racist for no reason. I have to say it. The more I look at what's going on right now, the more I'm seeing that both sides are absolutely batshit crazy. I may have to be called a dirty centrist. I don't know. I'm looking at both sides and I'm going, you guys are insane. Both of you, you're insane. I don't know what else to say. I'll just enjoy my spot, not on the fence, but right next to the fence on I don't know what side I'm on. I'm probably center right, but I'm if I ain't on the fence, I'm like tied to it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
The BBC is not responsible for the content of Link. View 1px trend. The last 24 hours have been not the greatest, she tweeted on Saturday, along with screenshots of highly offensive, racist messages. Chrome has, but many have spoken out in support of Ariel, while the hashtag #I stand with Christina started trending on Twitter. Matthew Mercer, host of the Critical Role podcast, which has featured her, said, "There are few as bright, badass and altogether wonderful as Christina Ariel, and anyone who tries to step into her ring better know we're right there beside her." You are current. Twitter tweet. Group.
Like, what? I don't understand the point in... Like, I'm sorry, but not everything is racist, and we don't need to be... I don't know where the rest are. I don't know what she's talking about, Ginger Snap. Hey, Addie. Hey, Costin. Oh, they will be pushed back. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, kids will be pushed back in social skills, Gunfox. It'll be bad.
Twitter embed. Frame. Article. Link. 13. Link. Danny Fernandez. Link. Link. Number of protect black creators. Christina speaking out on white supremacy, white privilege, and the complicity of whiteness in America is not an easy or safe thing to do. Black voices belong in Star Wars. Protect black voices. You are
What
current
do you mean black
article.
voices belong in... Of course they belong in Star Wars. There have been black voices in Star Wars from the very beginning. That's stupid.
End of. The BBC is not link. Viewer 1px. This is not the first time someone involved in the Star Wars franchise has reported receiving racist abuse. Actor John Boyega said his casting in The Force Awakens elicited a blatantly racist backlash from some fans. Nobody else had the uproar and death threats sent to their Instagram, DMs, and social media, saying, "Black this and black that and you shouldn't be a stormtrooper," he told British GQ last year. You are currently...
Well, that's stupid. And if that happened to you, well then that's dumb. Because there have been black people in Star Wars since the beginning of Star Wars.
Nobody else had that experience, but yet people are surprised that I'm this way. That's my frustration.
People are surprised that you're what way, sir? Why are people so vague when they're... Okay, you're being quoted for an article. Here, be as vague as possible. And he's an Imperial trooper, not a stormtrooper. What the fuck? Yeah. That's why they totally sidelined Finn. Yeah.
Heading level 2. You may also be...
So that's...
Frame end up. Frame 3. How the black... Frame end up.
Media
captioning or heading level 2. List for items.
Yeah, that's the end of this article that makes absolutely no sense. I'm sorry, but like that was a bunch of word salad from Christina Ariel. Okay, here is the article from W.R. Costin. So, our Governor General has resigned, and the Governor General is the figurehead and the basically the arm of the Queen in Canada. And she has resigned because apparently things are not good in Rideau Hall when she, with her there. Apparently she has a toxic work environment. Well, that's apparently the allegations, that it's a toxic work environment in her Rideau Hall. So let's take a look here. Okay. Why is that so hot? Okay. Julie Payette should not get expense account given to former GGs, says O'Toole. Or by who? Oh, come on. Really? No. We're not going to watch above. We're going to read. Okay, so yes, here we go.
Chrome has new window.
Hush.
Conservative leader. Link. Erin O'Toole says former Governor General. Link. Julie Payette should not get access to the expense account traditionally granted to those who held the post for full terms, given she resigned early.
Well, yeah. If you resign, you shouldn't get the freaking perks of staying for full term. I'm sorry, he's right.
In a press conference Monday morning, O'Toole was asked directly about whether Payette deserves access to the expenses, which are not required to be fully disclosed to the public and which have come under increasing scrutiny over recent years after high claims from former governors general. She resigned her role. She should not be able to access the normal courtesies provided to governor generals, said O'Toole, before questioning whether the topic of expenses might be one that was raised in the meetings where Payette was urged to resign.
I think he's right. If you resign your role, you shouldn't get the full perks of your role. That's just makes sense. Hey, Party Bear.
The office, sadly, has been sullied. We are in a minority parliament. We had a very non-partisan committee that looked at vice-regal appointments. Prime Minister Trudeau should go back to that, but at the bare minimum he should consult other parties and he should tell Canadians whether he guaranteed, as part of the deal for her to resign, whether he guaranteed her these funds and benefits.
Yeah, that's fair.
Story continues below at third-party ad content. Group save frame container end of. Third party. Click to play video review of Governor. Click to play link says former gov link. Erin O'Toole says former Governor General. Link. Julie Payette should not in a the office story continues. Third party at save frame can end.
Okay, where's the story?
1. Review of Governor General Julie. Save frame can link.
You said story continues below. Where's the
List
story
5
continued
trending.
below, sir?
End
Ma'am.
Save frame third party ad content. Advertise.
Where is the story that is continued below? You liar. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find the rest of the story that was apparently continued below. Okay, where are we? There we go. Now we are where we should be.
The standard term for a Governor General is 5 years. Payette resigned late last week after just 3.5, amid what sources describe as a scathing review into allegations of bullying and toxic workplace behavior at the Governor General's residence. Link. Rideau Hall. Read more. Link. Global News asked Prime Minister Justin Trudeau last week whether he plans to change any of the rules around the expense program in light of Payette's conduct and early resignation. He gave no clear answer.
I'm shocked. Justin Trudeau gave no clear answer. Imagine my surprise.
This country has very clear rules and regulations and processes and procedures in place to follow in these cases of reporting expenses or indeed anonymities for Governor Generals, Trudeau said. You are current.
So he said nothing.
Story continues. The third party. Those processes will be followed, but obviously we're always open to having discussions on changes that need to be made moving forward. Those processes will click to play video. Click to play. Those processes. Click to play video. Get Kitchener Skyline.
So that's story. I think O'Toole is right. I think that Ms. Payette should not get the full expense account. She resigned. She shouldn't get compensated for the full amount if she resigns. She shouldn't get that account or that perk. Okay, and this is another one from Gunfox. And then we're going to move on to the Pink Hollow stories. Okay. Now let's get the screen shared here. Chrome tab. Okay. Where is the headline here? Headline. Oh, headline. Okay. Let's go this way. All right. Oh, stop. So this is from yesterday. Tony Hersey slept with propane heater and candles before fire that killed him. Okay. Was he trying to die? Because that sounds like a really painful way to commit suicide. Like, really painful. Why not just, like, why would you want to burn yourself to death? Okay.
Investigators in New London, Connecticut, said Hussey was in a storage room with a 20-pound propane tank at the time of the November 18th fire. Hussey died in Connecticut on Friday, November 27th after being rescued from the fire. He was 46. Video, body camera video of firefighters responding to blaze.
No, thank you.
Frame 2.
I am going to get
frame 2.
yeeted
According
if
to
I play
witness
that,
report,
probably.
the tank was venting product after Hussey was pulled from the home. A report said Hussey died from complications of smoke inhalation, according to the Connecticut Office of the Medical Examiner, though the report was not complete Tuesday. According to witness reports, Hussey was lying in a storage area with a blanket near candles. Part of the blanket and a plastic bag had caught fire earlier in the night, the report said. You are currently... Firefighters. Link. Were called to the home. At 500 Pequot Avenue around 3:30 a.m. on November 18th, the three-story waterfront home contains guest quarters on the basement level. That level opens up to a pool area behind the house. Records obtained by the Witty show. A storage area, which looks like a shed, is attached to the back of the building on that level. Chrome has new...
Oh, and that's where he was. Okay.
Complimentary. Heading level 2.
I wonder how bad that house is damaged.
List 3 item. Heading. End of slideshow. Photos released by New London Fire Department showing the home and fire damage in the shed. Chrome has new win. List 1 item. 2 add previous next. Go to slide 2. Go to complement link. Timeline. End of surveillance video shows Hussey opening the door to the shed with smoke appeared to be coming from it 10 minutes before his friends call 911. Investigators said an employee had been checking on Hussey every 10 minutes, leaving post-it notes and knocking on the shed's door before the fire. Investigators said Chrome has new... Hussey was traveling with a nurse and a driver who were staying at a hotel nearby. Investigators said Tuesday he had planned to fly to Hawaii the morning of the fire.
So he was he homeless? Why was he in a storage area and not in the guest quarters? Like, this makes no sense.
Frame 3. Video footage obtained by investigators shows friends bringing Hussey whippets and a whippet canister, the report said. When asked if there was any indication Hussey tried to escape, Fire Marshal Vernon Squaw said he did not know. Last month, a judge named Hussey's father and brother as special administrators to his estate since the entrepreneur did not have a will. In a statement provided to the Witty after his death, Hussey's family thanked the community for its outpouring of love and respect. You are currently on...
So, like, did he have a mental illness? Like, what is... This is weird.
Hussey led retail giant Zappos for 20 years and retired as CEO back in August 2020. He played a pivotal role in the revitalization of downtown Las Vegas and had an estimated net worth in the hundreds of millions of dollars. You are currently on...
But he just... Weird. Like, how odd. That's kind of sad. Hey, Selected Boy. Yeah. Supposedly the two most painful ways to die are inhalation and wet drowning. Yeah. This is... Wow. That's kind of sad.
Copyright 2000.
I don't know, like, part of me goes Darwin Award, but part of me goes like, damn, that's kind of sad. Let's see here. Do I have any more stories in my DMs, or do I now need to go over to the Pink Hollow DMs? Yeah. Okay. back, please. Okay. Pinkalo the driving ape. Okay, here we go. Alright, we're going to take a look at this story here from Pinkalo. Okay, here we go. All right. So this is an opinion piece, I think. So it says, if there really are 300 neo-Nazi groups in Canada, why can't anyone name them? Which is a valid question, I think. I think that's a valid point that should be brought up. Here, let's try and get to the body of the article here. All right, here we go.
For years now, progressives have been warning that neo-fascism represents a growing cancer within Canada. Since the riot at the Capitol, in particular, the Toronto Star has instructed us that white supremacy, not just everyday racism, but the real deal, is now an link. Overt presence in public life. The NDP has jumped on board hard as well, under the banner link. Take action, dismantle white supremacist and neo-Nazi groups in Canada. Jagmeet Singh's party informs us that there are 300 active far-right extremist groups operating across the country.
That's a lot of... Okay, there are like 39 million people here. And people think there are 300 active neo-Nazi groups among 39 million people. Those must be very small groups.
Think about that. We've all heard of the Proud Boys, which many MPs want. Link. Classified as a terrorist group, and nuts like Paul from, in the 2018. Link. Public. You are currently on a link. To click this link. Public report on the as a terrorist group, and nuts like Paul from, in the identified right-wing extremism driven by white nationalism as a major threat, rightly singling out Alexandre Bissonnet's horrific Quebec City rampage for special condemnation. But star 300 star, wow.
Yeah, 300. No, that's hyperbolic.
What we know about the UK, COVID variant and mortality.
Oops.
IMA HTML5. Frame.
I hate when they stick stuff like that in the middle of articles.
Link. Tracker. You are currently on a heading level 2. Story continues below. Third-party ad content. Group save frame container. End of. Third-party ad this advertisement has not
It would be nice if the story continued below.
There's a silver lining here, however, since we apparently know the identifying details of these 300 groups, how else could the NDP offer such a precise number? Surely, we can now expose them. Even if they haven't broken any laws, there is enormous value in warning the public of third-party ad.
Oh, stop refreshing.
Heading level 2. Article content This advertisement has not loaded yet. Heading level 2. So obvious, there's a silver lining here, however, since we apparently know the identifying details of these 300 groups, how else could the NDP offer such a precise number? Surely, we can now expose them. Even if they haven't broken any laws, there is enormous value in warning the public about their identities. After all, Nazis don't announce themselves with names like League of Right-Wing Canadian Racists, much in the way Antifa doesn't call itself guys who started off pretending to oppose fascism but now just randomly wreck stuff. From calls for conservative citizens, these names can be very deceptive. You are currently...
Oh, God.
So obviously what we need is a public database that contains all 300 entries, so that when we get invited to a Facebook group, or a local bake sale fundraiser, or a neighbor asks for help burning an effigy or whatnot, we'll be able to check the invitation against a list of known hate groups. In fact, I'm surprised Jagmeet Singh hasn't already posted the list to NDP. Remember, the forces of white supremacy are massing as we speak. Live Star are at stake. Pause.
Yep, that's
Heading
a
level
thing
2.
that's been said.
Article. End of article. Article. End of. But link with pick link. But here's where it gets awkward. I phoned around, and no one at the NDP offices seems to have that list. Instead, they referred me to Barbara Perry, director of the Center on Hate, Bias and Extremism at Ontario Tech University. The 300 figure appeared in a 2019 link interview with Perry published in a sponsored content outlet.
Interesting.
Link funded by the Ontario government and labor unions.
That's not at all suspicious at all. No.
Heading level 2. Advert story continues
Oh,
below.
wow.
Third party ad content. Group. Save frame content up. Third, this advertisement is not heading level 2. In that interview, Perry claimed that, even by 2015, she'd identified more than 100 active far-right groups across Canada, and in the intervening 4 years, she apparently discovered another 200. The new 300 estimate is cited in a March 2019 star. Link. Interview. You are currently link. Interview. Comma. Though Chrome has new link. Telling. Comma. Though, oddly, several months later, Perry was heard. Link. Telling the CBC that the number is closer to 130. More recently, in August 20th, she. Link. Repeated. The 300 figure to an Oshawa Express reporter, and added that these are real groups, not just one-off Twitter or Facebook accounts operated as fanboy relay stations for foreign haters, that, in the reporter's words, could range from 3 or 4 members up to several hundred. Chrome has...
That's... Wow. Oh my god. Why are people so stupid? Why do... These people don't think like me, therefore they are far-right extremists. And we need to watch them. Oh, God. This is insane. This is crazy. I am living in a fucking novel. Hyperbolic fear-mongering amongst the left? Who would have thought? Yeah. Ugh. Which is really funny because they call it the Toronto Star in this article, which is owned by the Wall Street Journal. It's fucking stupid. Let's see here. This is okay. Hold on. We'll read a little bit more and then we'll move on.
I emailed Professor Perry this week to inquire about where I could find her database. Unfortunately, she told me that she wouldn't be releasing the information till spring, even though she's been sitting on the list for 2 years. When I asked why, she explained that releasing the list wouldn't make sense unless the data were couched within a larger published report, such as the one she has planned. I would like to quote her full response, but she would allow me to do so only if I showed her a draft of this article first, which I declined to do. I find it odd that, to my knowledge, I'm the only journalist who's publicly asked to see this information. The Star and CBC, in particular, now regularly publish articles darkly suggesting that Canada is on the cusp of some kind of full-on white supremacist apocalypse. Given the urgent need to fight off the forces of Nazism, shouldn't they be leading the charge for this data rather than just repeating Perry's bottom line number?
This guy is a little tongue-in-cheek, but he's not wrong. Like, this is hyperbolic and ridiculous, and I don't understand why everybody is just so adamant on calling everybody else a Nazi. Oh, you don't think like me, you are a Nazi. Oh, you don't think like me, you're far right, or far left, or it's I don't understand anymore. Okay, a little bit more.
Heading level 2. Advertise. Store this heading or link, or consider the aforementioned link, NDP petition, which demands measures to tackle online hate, including regulations to have social media platforms remove hateful and violent content. But in pursuit of that goal, what resource could be more valuable to regulators and tech workers than a definitive catalog of the 300 Canadian groups that are actively fomenting white supremacism? Perry's research is funded by link, Public Safety Canada, and link, Canadian Armed Forces.
Oh, really?
Shouldn't the NDP, of all parties, be the first to demand that the public receives the benefit of this subsidized outlay?
Yeah? This is funded by the military? Wow. That's something.
In a 2018 Critical Criminology link article, you are currently on a text element link entitled A Climate for Hate, an exploration of the right-wing extremist landscape in Canada. Perry defines the focus of her research, right-wing extremism, or RWE, as a loose movement, characterized by a racially, ethnically and sexually defined nationalism often framed in terms of white power, grounded in xenophobic and exclusionary understandings of the perceived threats posed by such groups as non-whites, Jews, immigrants, homosexuals and feminists in the interests of preserving RWE, heritage and their homeland. That definition sounds precise, but as I read through Perry's 20-page journal article, I became progressively more interested in how she applied it. But then she glides into a more general discussion of populist right-wing groups. Perry mentions, in passing, at least a dozen infamous Canadian groups that really do cater to hate-addled whack jobs, such as the Klan and the Aryan Guard. No argument there. But then she glides into a more general discussion of populist right-wing groups that promote the language of borders, boundaries, transgressions, or territory. Hate does not emerge in a vacuum, she warns, citing Antonio Gramsci's theories on the ongoing struggle for hegemonic supremacy, but rather is embedded in broader patterns of subjugation. This kind of language could easily sweep in anyone who expresses concern about, say, immigration levels, or even advocates travel bans to stop the spread of COVID-19. You are currently...
Yeah. And it has been used to paint those people in broad strokes. Definitely.
Heading level 2.
So yeah, Pinkalo is right. This is a long-winded article, so we're gonna stop here. But this is an interesting read. So I'm glad he sent this to me. So let's take a look at the next one. An article from the CBC. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay. Here we are. So apparently the Italian Prime Minister quit. Italian Prime Minister Conte quits in tactical bid to build new majority. I wonder how that's gonna work. Let's take a listen and see.
Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte, seen here delivering a speech in the lower chamber of the Italian Parliament on January 18th, resigned on Tuesday so that he could form a new coalition government. Roberto Minaldo/La Presse/the Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte handed in his resignation to the head of state on Tuesday, hoping he would be given an opportunity to put together a new coalition and rebuild his parliamentary majority. Conte, the deepening political crisis is playing out against the backdrop of the coronavirus pandemic, which has killed more than 85,000 Italians, the second highest death toll in Europe after Britain, and the sixth highest in the world.
Wow.
Conte lost his absolute majority in the upper house Senate last week when a junior partner, the Italia Viva party headed by former Prime Minister Matteo Renzi, quit in a row over the government's handling of the coronavirus crisis and economic recession.
Ouch.
Efforts to President Sergio Mattarella will start a rapid round of consultations with party leaders on Wednesday afternoon to test the political waters, his office said. If he thinks Conte can secure the necessary backing to pull together a new administration, the president will likely give him a few days to try to finalize a deal and draw up a new cabinet. You are currently on a text element. Italy politics image. Financial markets edged higher. Conte sits in the back seat of a car as he until financial markets edged higher despite the latest political tumult, with investors hopeful that Conte might eventually emerge with a more stable government. Until now, the main coalition parties, the anti-establishment Five Star Movement and center-left Democratic Party (PD), have backed Conte's efforts to stay in power. You are currently
So this Wait.
Until now, the main coalition parties, the anti-establishment Five-Star Movement and center-left Democratic Party (PD), have been.
The anti-establishment Five-Star Movement.
Conte is the essential element, and we need to broaden and relaunch the government's action, Deborah Saracini, the deputy head of the PD, told state broadcaster Witty. You are currently on advertisement. Third party frame 1 and up, heading level 2. However, if Conte cannot find new allies, Mattarella will have to come up with an alternative candidate deemed capable of piecing together a workable coalition.
Well, if people complain about Canadian and U.S. politics, at least it's not as complicated as this crap, because holy shit. I'm reading this and I'm like, what? You have to do what and when and how? Like, this is all a jumble to me. Makes no sense. Hey, Polydub. You're trying to find something that's not about COVID? Well, I'm not really talking about COVID right now. I was, but...
If all else fails, the president will have to call an election, 2 years ahead of schedule, although political analysts say this is the least likely scenario.
Yeah, nobody wants to do an election right now. That's like the last thing on anyone's mind is an election right now. Let's see. Oh, here's a one that should make us all go, what? Okay, here we go. And it's not about COVID. All right. So, this gentleman, I say with sarcasm, Alberta man who beat relative to death with pool ball in sock deserves leniency, says defense. Sure they do. Okay, let's take a listen, shall we?
The tragic life of a Calgary area man who killed his second cousin with a billiard ball in a sock warrants a 6-year prison sentence, his lawyer said Monday. But Crown Prosecutor Jim Sawa argued that Scott Big Crow's actions, coupled with his criminal record, warrant more than double that punishment. You are currently on a text element. Heading level 2. Advertisement. Sawa's defense counsel. Sawa said Justice David Labran should sentence Big Crow to 14 years for the manslaughter of Keith Big Crow, followed by an additional 3 years for causing an indignity to his body.
Oh, wow. An indignity to his body. Holy shit, what'd he do?
Defense counsel Dale Fedorchuk said a total prison term of 8 years, including 2 for the indignity count, would be a sufficient penalty, considering the tragic life Big Crow, 38, had endured.
I'm sorry, you killed somebody. Your life may be tragic, but did this guy abuse you daily? And you snapped? What's going on here?
Both lawyers agreed Labran should discount any punishment by 1/2 years to credit the offender for so-called dead time on remand. You are currently on. Fedorchuk said the demise of his relative at his own hands was just another in a long list of untimely deaths Big Crow has experienced, including the drug overdose of his common-law spouse.
Okay, wait, what?
Fedorchuk said the demise of his relative at his own hands was just another in a long list of untimely deaths Big Crow has experienced, including the drug overdose of his common-law spouse.
But this death he caused, so how is it that he's experiencing, are you trying to say that he's grieving the fact that he killed somebody with a pool ball and a sock? Sounds good, Polydub. Yeah, leniency apparently selected boy. Let's see here. His GF OD'd and he offs his cousin that calls for leniency. I guess so. I don't see how, but I guess so.
Story continued. Third-party ad content. Save frame end up. The woman died as Big Crow frantically tried to get her medical help, a lawyer said.
Wait, he beat her and then frantically tried to get her medical help. Is he schizophrenic? Like, should this man be institutionalized in a mental hospital? Like, what's going on here?
His common-law wife died under his hands when he was trying to save her, Fedorchuk said. The lawyer said the death of cousin, which occurred when the two men were drinking and Keith Big Crow made inappropriate sexual comments about women in the offender's life, added to an already tragic life. You are currently...
Oh, come on. Are you using the simp defense? Are you seriously using the simp defense? That's... No. No.
This has been his darkest hour in a life full of darkness, Fedorchuk said. Big Crow pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of manslaughter in the May 3, 2018. 4. Group. Killing. And of his second cousin on Itsuyut, a nation just west of Calgary. He had been charged with second-degree murder. 3 days later, he set the body on fire in a pile of tires in an attempt to cover up the crime.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Labrans will hand down a sentencing decision on February 8th. Chrome has new...
You waited 3 days? Oh my god. What the Dude, this guy... Are we sure he's not mentally insane? Like, are we sure that he shouldn't be in a mental institution? You beat your cousin to death with a pool ball and a sock, and then you set his body on fire 3 days later. Oh my god.
Link. K. Martin at post on Twitter.
That's just insane. Okay. One more story. Or, no, wait. I had, I wanted to see, because I found Mr. Polyev's take on the cancellation of Keystone XL, and I haven't watched it, so I'd like to watch it now. So that's what we'll finish off the stream with. I know it is gunny, but I've got to vacuum my floor again, and I've got to vacuum out my couch, and I've got to mop, and I'm tired just thinking about it. Okay, stop it. Okay. Alright. Don't autoplay. Don't autoplay. Fuck. It autoplayed. Okay. Okay, let's get back to the video area. All right. StreamYard. Household chores are evil. Oh, no, 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 no. I'll I'll get my... Okay. Where am I here? There we go. Share screen. Okay, here we go. 2 minutes of... This is a 2-minute video.
I have here the global demand for oil for 2019. Now, this is obviously pre-COVID, but it was 100 million barrels per day, and that was an increase from the previous the preceding 5 years, which runs in a contradiction to the common misconception that oil is now a thing of the past. In fact, the International Energy Agency anticipates continued demand of at least 60 million barrels per day for decades to come. So again, oil will be produced. The question is by whom? In North America, while our industry has been decimated in Canada for the last 5 years, it has doubled, production has doubled south of the border. So we're seeing more money, more jobs go to less environmentally friendly sectors south of the border while we decimate ourselves. Would either of the oil and gas witnesses be willing to comment on what we're doing to our own national economic interests by driving oil and gas production out of our country to less environmentally friendly jurisdictions?
So, I would agree. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what forecast you're looking at, although they are, some of them are quite different than one another's, depending on different stated policies. But the reality is the world's going to consume more energy. As Canadians, I know that we're committed to looking at climate change very seriously. But the reality is if we harm the industry, i.e. the oil and gas industry, and the service sector that is embedded in that industry, we will not be able to develop into hydrogen, geothermal, have a robust petrochemical industry, and also to deal with our growing energy demands here as a country. So we have to be very pragmatic about our approach and ensuring that our existing industries in the oil and gas industry are sustainable in the long term to not only supply Canadians with these products, but also internationally. We can either get it from Canada or you can get it from the Saudis or the Iranians. And I think most Canadians would choose Canadian products.
So how do you plan on doing that, though? I don't understand. Like, you didn't answer his question. You didn't answer his question. That's frustrating. Why does nobody answer questions? Let's see. Let's see here. Don't mean to be rude, but how do you know when you're done vacuuming? I never do, and I have vision. So when you're vacuuming, you can hear the dirt and dust go up into the vacuum, it makes a sound when it gets sucked up, and when you don't hear any more sucking up stuff, for me, that's generally when I stop. I also vacuum, usually wearing with bare feet, so that I can feel if there's still dust or whatever on the floor. And then I like vacuum over where that is again. And it's the same with mopping. You can, if you use if you just have bare feet, you can tell when you're vacuuming or when you're mopping, which part of the floor you've mopped, which part of the floor you haven't mopped. So that's how I can tell when yeah. Oh shit. Thank you for that, Grillin' Pirate Pete. Thank you for that. Good save, Pete. Yay, Pete. So yeah, that's how I can tell when things are no longer needing to be vacuumed. What was I going to do here? I was gonna... Yep, fix now, yep. Ah, good coffee. Okay. Let's see if I can find some more stories really quickly. Let me find some new, or a couple more stories here to read. Let's see. Okay, let's read this one. Let's read this one. There we go. Close Twitter. Thank you, Pop and Hop. Have a great day. Okay, let's see here. Sorry about that, guys. I was just trying to grab a story. All right. What the fuck? Okay, this is what I mean. Like, I can get as much sleep as I can. I passed out with the boys last night, okay? Then I woke up for all of 20 minutes and then went back to sleep. So in all, I got a total of probably 9 hours. Okay? I've also had 2 coffees today already. And I am sitting here quite literally falling asleep. There is no reason for it. There is no, like, it's just, and this happens to me all the time. Like, it's this stupid freaking sleep issues that I have. My body tries to get me to go to sleep at the wrong goddamn times and stay awake at the wrong goddamn times, and it's so fucking frustrating. It's like, really, right now? You want me to sleep right now while I'm on stream? Fuck you. And then there's, really? You want me to be awake at 3 in the morning? Insomnia, so a lot of blind people have something called non-24-hour sleep disorder, which is your circadian rhythm is all fucked up. And your internal clock, therefore, does not run on the same wavelength as everyone else's does, because especially if your eyes are like mine and they're fake, or they're not connected to your brain, or they're just, you have no light perception, your body does not get the correct feedback from the setting and rising of the sun. So chemically, your body doesn't know when it's time for sleep and when it's time to be awake. Logically, because we have clocks in our houses, cognitively, we know when it's time for sleep and when it's not. But chemically and hormonally, a lot of blind people have the same problem. Their brains do not release melatonin at the proper times. A lot of blind people take melatonin. I had a really adverse reaction to melatonin. It made me actually a lot more depressed and suicidal than I was before. So I'm a little bit hesitant to take melatonin. But there are a lot of blind people I know that take melatonin to help them sleep. And a lot of blind people I know that also have the same issues as I do, trying to stay awake during the day. You have the same problem. Oh shit, Duck Dog, that sucks. It drives me insane. It's so goddamn frustrating. Okay. Crazy and evil. Bill Gates surprised by pandemic conspiracies. You're surprised by okay. All right.
In an interview with Reuters, Gates said the millions of online posts and crazy conspiracy theories about him and about top U.S. infectious disease expert Anthony Fauci had likely taken hold in part because of the combination of a frightening viral pandemic and the rise of social media.
The rise of social media. Social media's been risen, Bill Gates. I don't know what you mean by the rise of social media.
Nobody would have predicted that I and Dr. Fauci would be so prominent in these really evil theories, Gates said. I'm very surprised by that. I hope it goes away.
You hope it goes away. Dude, Fauci is a liar, Gates. And that's why there are so many conspiracy theories, is because Fauci is a liar, and you're not much better. So I don't know what you expect. I guess it would be the same with areas like Alaska. Oh yeah, where the sun doesn't set for a couple months and doesn't rise for, yeah. Yeah. He means by those evil right-wing people having access to social media. Ah. If social media rises anymore, it will rule the world directly as opposed to in secret like it does right now. Yeah, that's Very good observation, Lord Famine. Very good observation.
Gates, a billionaire who stepped down as chairman of Microsoft Corp in 2014, has through his philanthropic Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation committed at least $1.75 billion to the global response to the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes support for some makers of vaccines, diagnostics, and potential treatments. Advertisement. Third party. Since the pandemic began a year ago, millions of conspiracies have spread over the internet, fueling misinformation about the coronavirus, its origins, and the motives of those working to fight it.
Yes, only the stuff on the internet has spread confusion about the coronavirus. It hasn't been the health officials. It hasn't been the CDC and the WHO fucking disagreeing with each other. It's only been the internet crazy people that have spread confusion about the fucking COVID virus. Shut up. Just shut up. Just stop it. Have they helped? No. But are they by any means the only ones? No. Fuck, man, that's frustrating. He should, of all people, should know that social media is already up. I know. He really should.
They include claims that Fauci and Gates created the pandemic to try and control people, that they want to profit from the virus spread, and that they want to use vaccines to insert trackable microchips into people.
Didn't it get published that there was a vaccine that Bill Gates wanted to do that it would have a chip in people?
But do people really believe that stuff? Gates asked. We're really going to have to get educated about this over the next year and understand, how does it change people's behavior and how should we have minimized this?
Why over the next year? What happens after that, Mr. Gates? Why just over the next year? Conspiracies, he says. Yeah. Fauci, 2005. Masks don't work. Masks don't work. Chloroquine is effective. Fauci, 2020. Chloroquine doesn't work. Then you have to wear 3 masks. Yep.
Advertisement. Third part. Heading level 2. Excited about Biden. Gates praised Fauci and Francis Collins, head of the U.S. National Institutes of Health, as smart and wonderful people, and said he looked forward to seeing them able to work effectively and speak the truth under the new administration of President Joe Biden.
It would have been nice for them to speak the truth under any circumstances there, sir. They should have been speaking the truth this whole frickin' time, but have they? No. Fauci even admitted he wasn't speaking the truth.
During former President Donald Trump's handling of the pandemic, Gates said it had sometimes felt like they were the only sane people in the U.S. government.
Oh, go away. Just go away.
I'm excited about the team that Biden has picked to tackle the health crisis, Gates said. Gates said he was also pleased that under Biden, the United States has rejoined the World Health Organization, and that he's appointed smart people, and the fact that Dr. Fauci won't be suppressed.
Dr. Fauci was never suppressed. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Mr. Gates? Fauci was never suppressed.
Reporting by Kate Helland, editing by Our Standards.
Oh my god. That's just so freaking stupid. I can't even fathom Dr. Fauci won't be suppressed. How was he suppressed before? So stupid. Okay. So Selected Boy says, imagine thinking that people questioning the vaccine as conspiracy theorists. Yeah. And I'm not anti-vax by any means, obviously, but I would like to know a bit more about these vaccines before I take one. You know what I mean? These were rushed out very quickly, and I would like to know a bit more about them before I get 2 doses of it. I would like to know how long it's supposed to last. I would like to know how effective it is. I would like to know if there are any adverse effects that I should be looking out for. There are a lot of things that just need to be learned about this vaccine. It like I said, it came out very quickly. And it's just, you just want to be careful with stuff like that. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's nothing wrong with wanting to be careful with what and educated about what you're putting inside you. That's all. Like, that's all I ever think about, is just being educated about what you're getting vaccinated with. Like, even with the vaccines that I agree with and my kids have, I ask my doctor what they are, what they guard against, what the effects are supposed to be, how long they, like, it's just basic education. That's all. That's, it's nothing, like, and I see. I agree with you there, Lord Famine. It was rushed to development far too quickly. Usually, vaccines take about a year, maybe 2 years to develop. And that's a quick vaccine. But if you look at vaccines like the smallpox vaccine, like, that was not rushed overnight, and that was a deadly virus. It's you can't rush things like this and not expect adverse reactions and not expect people to be wary about it. I don't understand why people are shitting on people for being wary about a rushed product. I find that silly. I really do. And like I said, I'm not anti-vax by any means because of my situation and how I lost my sight. But this is just, it's just better to know what's going on, better to have information. That's all. Alright, guys, it is 20 after 1, and I am going to end here. And I'd like to thank you all for watching this coffee stream. And I do thank you for bearing with me. Patrons, I know there's at least one of you in the chat. I'm going to be testing out the live stream thing on Patreon. So what it does is you make an unlisted YouTube thing, and it goes and you post the link to Patreon, and then you guys get the link, and that's it. And what I'm gonna do for this first test stream on Friday night at 10:30 is I am going to share with you a book that came in the mail for my sons and I to read. My mom subscribed to a book of the month, like a book a month club for the kids. For me, they mail a print and braille book, so there's braille on one page and print on the other page. And this book is a straight up diversity book, and I'm going to read it on the Patreon live stream, and we're going to laugh about it, because it's like, even the 6-year-old was like, this book is weird, I don't like this book. So we're going to take a look at that on Friday night at 10:30 p.m. So if you are a patron, and you'd like to watch that, please come and watch 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 Central. Oh, Pincalo has something to say. What's up, honey?
It has been 1 year and like 5 days since the Onision Chris Hansen bullshit actually started.
Huh.
You wonder why Chris Hansen's coming up so much in the commentary news, huh? Yeah, he fucked up with his fans going after John Swan.
All right. So thank you for watching. Come back tomorrow for Beat the Blind Girl, and if you are a follower of mine on TikTok, I will be doing a live at some point today. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Beat the Blind Girl. Bye!